Hold on. Back on my bullshit. These niggas been hating, get hit with a full clip. They say they don't like me. They want me to hit them with something so shiesty. I said it so nicely. They don't understand why my chain is so icy. Now talk to me nice. They calling my phone saying talk to me nice. Hold on. Wait. Then I hit up my jeweler.
What's going on, guys? It's the king of 161st Street. I'm back with another video, and today, as you can see on the screen, I've got a special guest. We've got the Bronx Zoo host.
Going, guys.
He's probably the funniest guy in this Yankees community,
Thank you.
doing all these skits. So, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, man. I love your name, King of 161st. Great name.
Yeah, man. I'm surprised no one else used it yet. I had to jump on it. So I had to.
Awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into this past series with the Yankees, man.
Yeah.
Finally, we lose a game.
We can handle one, right? We can
handle one.
We can accept it.
Overall, I've been just so impressed with how this team has been just so well-rounded, and like the bullpen, other than yesterday, seriously, again, top to bottom, has been just so consistent. What do you think is like the cause of that?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the head. It's the consistency, but I think the past few years we were heavily reliant on individuals, right? It was Aaron Judge needed to come up to the plate, get a home run. Stanton needs to provide. But I think this team right now, it's every single man on that roster has come through at some point. Every single man on this roster, it could be Judge one day, but Rizzo is on a hot streak right now. And then Stanton next week, I can bet, will be on a hot streak. And then, Hicks and Gallo, they aren't, having superb seasons, but when you look at what they've done production-wise this weekend, they did knock in a few runs. So it's like, I wonder if the passion behind looking at the down seasons is just because everyone else is having such extraordinary seasons. If you put those type of players on different teams, would it be as noticeable? Because it's just every other day. I mean, I've said it since the beginning of the season. When DJ LeMahieu and Anthony Rizzo are on their game, the Yankees are unbeatable. Unbeatable. I
agree. And again, if we can get Hicks and Gallo to start hitting like they have this series, this is a whole new ball game. Yeah. Because they like to say it on the broadcast all the time. You don't want everyone hot at the same time. You want there to be times where 3 guys are on, 3 guys are off, so that they can take turns helping this team win. If Hicks and Gallo can start holding their weight towards the middle of the season while Judge is going on his downswing, while DJ's not playing as well, this team is scary. And it showed in this series how scary they are. Because even when we're behind, like I remember it was 2021. When we were behind, it was like, damn, let's see if we could actually do it. Yep. Now it's like, I expect this team to come back.
Yeah. I mean, the runners in scoring position last year felt like they were never getting in. And this year, like you said, you expect them to be driven in. And that's a difference maker. But when your bullpen can come in with a lead or you're behind and they can pitch like they don't care what the score is, they're coming in and dominating. Every team, I date back to 2015 Royals because that was the first team that sticks to mind where the bullpen made a difference. I remember like Wade Davis and that bullpen. It seemed after that it was a battle of the bullpens for the World Series. You think of Andrew Miller 2016, you think of Chapman in 2016, and then you of course have the Sox have an insane bullpen in 2018, and then it just seems like every team that's won the World Series since those Royals, it's because of the bullpen, and that's promising because we have a strong bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of the biggest names that I did not expect out of the bullpen this year. One, Michael King. Where the hell did he come from? Like he was a failed starter at one point that I never wanted to see in the majors again. Now he's like, he was sort of in the situation that Marinaccio is in right now, where like anytime I see him come in, I was like, oh my God, not him. But now you see him come in, you're like, wow. Like
I think a lot of these guys, the Scranton shuttle's a real thing. I think it can get to them. I think it can. I mean, think about a commute to every person's commute to work, right? You go to your 9 to 5 maybe, or you work at nights and it's maybe got to commute an hour. These guys are back and forth between Scranton. That's not an easy.
That's a tough trip.
Easy. Yeah.
I've always thought that with Estevan. Like I have high hopes for Estevan in the majors if he could ever get a consistent spot.
Yeah.
But just like he's always back and forth. It seems like he's like the 28th man. Yeah. Anytime someone goes down, it's like Estevan, you're here, and then you're gone. Yeah. But another guy that's been very surprising for me in the bullpen, which he had a bad game yesterday, so it's probably bad timing for me to bring this up. But Miguel Castro, man, all year has been just consistent. Reliable. Even though he has the stuff to be like an Aroldis Chapman-esque pitcher, he hasn't felt like that to me, even though he has high amount of walks. I don't know how you feel about Miguel, but I think he's been a big surprise this year.
Yeah, reliable. And, Peralta too, reliable.
Wandy has been really good. Yeah.
Been in the game a couple years, both of them. And, we have a nice mixture right now of youth and veteran. And, think of Clay Holmes. Seems like he came out of nowhere, but he pitched in the league for a couple of years. The Pirates gave us a lot of good arms. Not directly with Cole, but and then Tyone and Clay Holmes. I mean, Cashman just finds these gems, and it's incredible to watch him. He doesn't play on the field, but the way he plays the game, it's incredible to watch.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring up, when do you think the fans are finally going to apologize to Cashman for? Before the season, all I heard was Cashman better be on the hot seat. This was a terrible offseason. What are we doing bringing in Donaldson and IKF? Where's Correa? Yeah, when is he finally going to get that credit he deserves for actually knowing what this team needed?
I think that, the owners and general managers, I don't know if they ever get love, but I think there's that, I think people are just starting to realize. For me, I said from the very beginning, and I'm not saying that I knew what was right to do, and they know the game and I trust them, but I knew that those moves were right. I felt it, because the only thing I really wanted going into this season was re-signing Anthony Rizzo. That's the only thing that if we didn't do, that's a failure, because he wasn't going to have an expensive deal. I mean, I thought Freddie Freeman would have been nice, but it wasn't needed. Anthony Rizzo was a short-term deal that provides the exact type of mentality this team needed. And then I was shocked. I remember being in doing some computer work and looking at my phone, and Donaldson and IKF for Gio and Gary. Whoa. But I said, you know what? That's a shakeup. We needed a shakeup, and we needed that, that gritty attitude for once, because for years it was always, like we're all in this together. Like, let's just, apologize that something didn't go right. And like, no, we need some attitude. We need some, think about the Bronx Zoo days, go tie it in. Reggie Jackson walked out there and said, yeah, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
A team needs that guy. And that's why I look at a guy like Bryce Harper sometimes, and I love him because he brings that grit. And I think that Cashman made the right moves. And, even Brian Cashman I date back to the moves he's made along the way to try and improve the team each year, starting with like Bobby Abreu in 2007. And then he brings in Ichiro. I'm really dating back probably for some of the people watching, but Ichiro, Alfonso Soriano in 2013. He gets Chase Headley. Like these little moves along the way. He always got that one guy.
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, he's not on the field playing. Yeah. So, he's always provided us good pieces, and I trust Cashman.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the same boat as you. I didn't understand what the hate was with getting Rizzo back.
Yep.
Like everyone in the community was sort of like, if we get Rizzo, this is a failure. We need an Olsen. I saw the package that the A's got for Olsen.
Yeah.
I said that would have equated to us giving them Volpe, Peraza, and Jason Dominguez.
Yep.
Like, Olsen's not worth that. He's a first baseman.
Yeah, and Rizzo's been more valuable than Olsen in the first half.
He's been more valuable than Olsen and Freeman.
Yeah.
If you look at what Freeman's done this year, it's nowhere near what Rizzo has done. If you look at how Rizzo came in last year and sort of changed the culture.
Yep.
That's why I thought Rizzo should be back, because this season is proving a locker room matters.
Yep.
And guys like Donaldson, even amidst all the drama and all that stuff, still provides that sort of grit. Like yesterday, when he gets hit, sort of showing that emotion, and then coming back and hitting a home run. That's what this team needed.
With a smooth bat flip.
That was probably the smoothest one by the Yankees all year.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So I'm just in awe of how this team has started.
Yeah.
And how long do you think this can continue? Because again, at some point, there's always that slide that a good team gets into.
Yeah. I think that, look, last year we hit that 13 game win streak in late second half of the year. And
August, yeah.
We struggled in the first half and we struggled in the second half, but we haven't struggled yet. So we gave ourselves some room for some, late season struggle. Yeah. But like, I'm a firm believer, and people think it's crazy, but there's no reason you can't go and win every single game. Like, if you have a team on the field, you have a chance to win the game. 162-0. It's never been done. Maybe it will be one day, but I think that there's no reason why a team can't continue this success. I mean, I think a lot of people have their sights on 98. They want that record. Or even the Mariners, that might be pushing a little bit too much, but
I don't know if I want that record knowing how that season ended.
Yeah, I know, but I think that I think 98 is what we have our sights on. I think that's a good comparison. I think we have the same type of mesh, like, in the 98 you had superstars, you had stars, and you had utility guys. And you think of a guy like Paul O'Neill and Tino Martinez. They weren't the superstars of the team. Neither are Anthony Rizzo and neither are Nestor Cortez, but they're very, very important. I mean, Nestor's on the way to being the superstar of the pitching. But I mean, like, you had like Jeter and you had Pettit and you have Judge and Stanton as the main marquee guys, but every team has an A-list supporting cast too. So interesting to watch.
Yeah, I've been also surprised with how well this team has meshed. Like, I would have thought the whole Trevino Higgy thing, I didn't expect them to be as close as they are, based off of the fact that they are basically battling for that starting role.
Yeah.
But again, this team feels like a family.
Yeah.
And again, locker room matters when it comes to winning in the postseason. That's why this team feels different. This team does feel different.
It's exciting.
Yeah. All right. Enough with that. Let's talk about your success for a second. Your TikTok is blowing up, my man. I've been watching all these standing outside of Yankee Stadium, side talk style, going up to people, getting people to admit they cheat on their boyfriend to win a World Series. I'm very intrigued with what you're doing. So explain to the people, what do you do?
Yeah. So the way I describe it is, first off, I love what I do. I'm a diehard Yankee fan. I am a diehard Yankee fan. And you could ask my mom, my dad. I've said for years, if I could sleep at the stadium, I would. I'd just give me a blanket. Like I would. I love being there. So as a kid, it was my favorite place on earth. And so what the Bronx Zoo is, it's the first of its kind Yankee fan interview show. I came across, and really the first of its kind sports fan interview show in the format we're doing it in. Man on the Street segments have been around for a very long time.
Yeah.
But no one has ever done it specifically for one sports team that I've seen, or specifically the New York Yankees. It's never been done. And about a year ago, I started this in September, so it hasn't even been a year. About a year ago, I was on the street with a camera, And at a former job of mine, I was asked to go do some man on the street. It's like simple questions. And I had a Yankee shirt on. It was like a Yankee like a polo collared shirt. And I asked the man, hey, can I ask you a question? And he said, about the Yankees? Maybe. And I was like, no, it's not. And he's like, no, thanks. And I stood there for about like 20 minutes afterwards. I was like, man, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I said, I love being on camera. I did reporting for years. I worked as a TMZ reporter. I worked in sports at a company called Steiner Sports. And it was all such great experiences, but I always knew I wanted to be in front of a camera. And I'm like, man, that's a good idea. And in this business, it's you got to come up with an idea to get yourself in front of that camera, like you're doing. Like it takes that extra effort. And if I told myself I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. So I got the right equipment. I came up with a game plan, and I just went out there. I looking for a field producer. The first time one of my best friends, Jeff, came out with me, and we recognized the first day that this was going to work. From the very first time I did it, I said people liked this, and I think what people love the most about it is they like talking about the Yankees, and a lot of fans don't have a platform to talk about the Yankees. And what was most important for me personally as a Yankee fan, I wanted to look at it from the perspective of, and we're just I still look at it like I'm in the beginning stages. I have a tremendous amount of ideas that I think can make this better, but I believe that the most important thing for us is I want to contribute to growing the game of baseball. And from the beginning, I said to myself that if I was going to do this, I want to contribute to the game that I love. And I think what's important is when you look at pop culture and you look at sports, you look at a guy like LeBron, right? And he's embedded in popular culture. You look at a guy like Tom Brady, he is in our pop culture. When you think about baseball, you can go across the entire state and a lot of people won't know who Mike Trout is.
Yeah.
And that's always bothered me. So I said to myself, if I can ask questions that correlate with pop culture and mesh these guys in together, I think it would work. And so far, people are seeming to enjoy it. And at the same time, the work I'm most proud of, I'll end with this, is the actual Yankee questions I ask. Like the hall pass question definitely got a lot of attention. Yeah. Some other stuff that got a lot of attention, but the stuff I'm most proud of is when I get down into the actual Yankee questions, the Yankee Mount Rushmore. What do the Yankees mean to you? That stuff always makes me most excited to post. It might not take off like the rest, but that stuff is always my favorite.
Yeah, man. It's very entertaining what you're doing. Very innovative. And how does it feel that not even a year in, you're getting all this notoriety around this? Like Barstool has posted you twice. Like you're like I said before, your TikTok is going like haywire. How does it feel that like not even a year in, you're having this type of success?
I appreciate that, but for me, I look at it very, very. I look at it like the strategy. Like I'm still in the beginning stages because I know there's just so much more to do. I'm so grateful for it because to go to Yankee Stadium, my favorite place on earth, and people are coming up to me to say hi and say they love my stuff. That literally means the world to me. I have given my life to my work. I've always wanted to, achieve my dreams and go for my goals. And I was never one to, go have a great time, go on vacations and all this stuff. It's always been work. And, it's paying off a little bit, but I know it's going to pay off a lot more. And I think that, everyone's support, that's what I love. When I wake up and I scroll through my TikTok and see someone say, hey, this made my day. Dude, I love your content. Like the Yankee fans it's truly a family. Yankee fans, when we just had a conversation for 20 minutes about the team.
Yeah.
We could probably go on another 25 minutes. There is something special there about how people love this team. And the Yankees are more than a baseball team. I've said it 100 times. The Yankees, for me, mean my family and my dad and my grandpa and, talking about, the game the night before and it just means so much to so many people, and it's special that people are liking what I'm doing.
Yeah, man. I feel the same way as you. Without baseball, I don't know where I'd be right now. Without the Yankees, I mean, with all the trials and tribulations I've been through, I don't know how I would have made it out without the Yankees. This team has been like, this sport has helped me through so much. And I love that your goal is to grow the game and to help this sport grow, because I think we've sort of lost our edge when it comes to like America's pastime, when it comes to like having the popularity there. We've lost an edge to sports like football, because and I think a lot of it comes down to the older generation not letting go of what they had. Like, when I know, especially with my dad, this is where I sort of get this, is because I show my dad highlights from like Ronald Acuna, show my dad highlights from like Fernando Tatis. He gets pissed off because they're flipping the bat. Like, Acuna's doing the whole Trae Young thing. He's like, he's under the impression that a baseball player is supposed to keep it classy, keep it professional. And that sort of stunted this sport's growth. I wonder do you agree with that?
It's an interesting question. I think that it's, I respect both points of view. I do. I think that baseball is classy, and baseball is, it's the greatest sport in the world. And people, what makes it great is people have different things that they love about it. I think I love the let the kids play mantra. I think it's great for the game. I think it's important. And I think that that's what you're seeing. That's what you show with the highlight, right? There's so many guys out there that are just going out there. You don't see Aaron Judge flipping the bat. There's guys who do it a certain way. There's the guys that don't. And let's not fool ourselves. They were doing that 30, 40 years ago. Guys.
Reggie Jackson was he was a menace. He was
Reggie Jackson. I think of guys who were just flashy on the field, like Deion Sanders and Ricky Henderson. These guys were amazing. And that was awesome. And that's cool. And that it's been that way. That's the same conversation that parents say, oh, this generation's so different. We're all just different in, certain ways. But I mean, it's still the same game. It's still gonna be baseball at the end of the day.
With this whole I agree with you. I am a big fan of this let the kids play movement. One person I don't think gets enough credit for starting the newest movement is Yasiel Puig. He was the first guy to come in. Everyone was pissed at him. Flipped the bat. He was the first guy. He got in arguments with Mad Bum. It's like, he's the guy who he sort of walked so that Acuna, Tatis, and all of them can run. I don't know how you feel about that.
Puig was a spark in the game. I'll never forget that when he first walked into the game, and that first 2 weeks he was having, I mean, he was a spark for this game. And he was a spark for the Dodgers. I mean, he really helped take that team to a different level. And he never got to win it with them, but they owe a lot of their success early on due to Yasiel Puig, like we do with Gary Sanchez.
Yeah.
I'm a Gary Sanchez lover. I will always love Gary. Man. Without Gary Sanchez, this whole little movement we had since 2016 doesn't start. He had a monster season, and everyone forgets it. And yes, he didn't turn out to be the next Yogi Berra, but he was our spark, like Puig was the Dodgers spark.
That 2016 season, I will never forget Gary Sanchez's how he almost dragged us to the postseason when we traded away everyone to not make it. He single-handedly did that. And I agree with you. That 2017 run does not happen without Gary.
Yep.
Like, the back of this jersey is Gary Sanchez. I was a major fan of Gary.
That's awesome.
And I
think two moments in the last 4 or 5 years that stick out to Yankee fans as probably the two most exciting moments are Gary's double in the ALCS and DJ's home run against the Astros in 19. I think those are the two most significant moments in recent history. So,
yeah. All right, man. This has been really fun. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man. I love talking.
Everyone, go subscribe to the Bronx Zoo on YouTube. Very cool guy. His content is great. Go check it out. But anyways,
like 161st. Love the name.
Thank you, man. All right. I'll
Okay.
catch you guys next video. Peace.
Absolutely.